something came up and somebody might not show us for something. Okay, it's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock,
So-
only audience. Huh.
What?
Oh my
People
God.
watching on YouTube later.
Max capacity. This is such a big room. Do we need this? Do you want it? Can you pick up sound from here, or do you want the microphone?
I'm good.
Maybe someone
You're good?
mistaken a line up there.
All right. So this is how to run a panel.
Yeah.
I'm Di. This is Melissa,
Hi, everybody.
and this is the. That thing does not exist. It's not here apparently, or it's a good boy. Anyways,
You too. It's a good boy.
okay. What kind of panels have you guys liked? Like all of you?
Basically, one I remember so well from Kineticon was this one called The Art of Griefing, where it was just pretty much presenting gameplay footage of just mainly having fun in Griefing and just messing around the game and not taking it seriously.
I actually never seen that kind of panel before, so that's actually really unique and interesting.
Yeah, that even includes like they start off their panel by saying they started off by showing a video where they have John Madden from a Madden game on Genesis just spamming his name. Hi, John Madden here, John Madden.
And we gotta have the Moonbase Alpha footage. Free game you can download on Steam, by the way.
So those are ones you've liked and stuff. Oh, right.
Yeah.
You ever done a panel before?
No.
Thinking about it.
Yes.
You haven't. You have. Which ones was it again?
The Anime's Got Talent.
Anime's Got Talent. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You also helped with the Kingdom Hearts panels in the past, so.
Yes, several times.
I
Yep.
think there's
Yep.
a Kingdom Hearts panel.
No.
No.
Oh, wait, yes there is, but it
Oh.
is not run by us. It is run by somebody who, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, I'm a
Okay,
panelist.
well,
I'm
it
not
keeps
going to say
going
anything.
down then, because first it was run by us, and then it was run by somebody else who we knew, and yeah, and now it's run by somebody
Forms
else.
Guides. No, it's run by KH Form Guides right now.
Oh,
guys. Yeah. We're not allowed to say anything. We're panelists. We're professionals. We all work together. Okay.
Working together.
Yes, working together. Okay. Now we're gonna go over the different types of panels. Okay. Briefly, real quick. We have demonstration panels. It's showing people how to do something, like a wig styling panel, how to cosplay panel, like fan fiction writing panel, that kind of thing, or making webcomic, how to make a webcomic, that kind of thing. And where they will have like objects right there and they will show you how to do it, or they have like projectors and it show you like how to do this step by step. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
No. Okay, bye bye. We have interactive panels. These include but are not limited to game panels, such as was it Anime Knockout, I believe? That's going on later today. My roommate's doing that. There's Q&A sessions, which is you can ask like questions to like characters or voice actors or something like that. Fan panels, which is I list fan panels here because they usually they include interactive stuff. Sometimes there are cases where they don't. It depends really. So it's half is, half isn't. Game panels. I'm going more into game panels. They're interactive panels that are usually like run like a game show kind of. Like I said, Anime Knockout or something like that. I'm trying to remember. There's another one yesterday that was a really good one. Annie Isle is another one because it is considered a competition. And it's sort of like you're winning. It's like kind of a game, sort of kind of.
Voice actor panels.
What's that?
Voice actor panels are the ones where
Wait.
you talk to a voice actor.
That's part of the interactive panel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Because it's the next one down too.
No. That's gaming rooms.
Oh, am I too far ahead?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Gaming rooms. These are they're not really listed as panels. They're more like viewing rooms or like places where you can play video games basically, or tabletop gaming. Q&As. That's where you have voice actors. Most voice actor panels will be mostly nothing but Q&A.
Occasionally you get a voice or two out of them.
Occasionally.
Maybe a free game.
They also musical guests, industry guests. They do a lot of Q&A. Q&A can last for like the whole entire panel. Usually, you can drag it out for a long time.
One thing is, I think the best idea is just to be show variety, I guess.
Yeah, it's it depends on what you're doing, what you want, what your purpose is. Like sometimes voice actors are in the mood to do too much, so all they're going to do is going to answer questions. Some of the other guests, it depends really on what you want to do, like what topic or what subject you want to do. And then going more into voice actor panels, common is Q&A, of course. There's also autograph signing, or there's like interactive panel with them, like was it Whose Line Is It Anime? They do?
Yeah.
And they do. There's other ones they do, like they do some 17 and older events that are like they're fun and like it's like fun. I don't know how to explain it. So I don't go to them too often.
I could have explained it.
Yeah, go ahead.
We did go to this one panel with Carlos Farrell inside, which he did kind of warn him it's only 17 plus, and as soon as everyone acknowledges it, he goes on a tangent, just doing that.
Oh yeah, there is a ranting panel. I've been to one where a voice actor was featured, an ex-voice actor was featured, and he just basically did like rants and stories and stuff. I did that before with who's the guy who plays Roy Mustang
One Mustang. You should know the voice.
from Fullmetal Alchemist? What's his name?
Roy Mustang?
The guy who plays the
He's like the
voice.
singer that did Giggle King.
He kind of does like almost like a ranting panel sometimes too.
Oh, Chris Patton does. Did Chris Patton talks too much or tells too much?
Yeah, but yeah, he did.
That was a great panel.
That was a great panel, and I'm not allowed to say anything from that panel because they say you can't take it out of the room.
I don't remember.
They say you can't. We can't.
Discussion panels. Discussion panels are sometimes involved in demonstration panels and maybe interactive panels sometimes too. This is sort of a discussion panel as well.
Yeah.
It's more of a teaching panel, but more than anything, tutorial. And yeah, it's very borderline. This panel is a very borderline discussion panel. So, viewing rooms, panels and events. Viewing panels are like cosplay contests, anime viewing rooms. Basically, just where you sit back and you're not really interacting, you're just watching things go on. So, unless you signed up for like a cosplay contest, then that's a whole another story in a land far away, a galaxy far, far away. There's fan panels and mixed panels. Fan panels are dedicated to a particular anime or a show or a series or a game.
For example, there's ones here. There's a Sentai panel for those who like Kamen Rider, or for Super Sentai. There's a Kamen Rider panel. There's a Hitalia panel. There's a Kingdom Hearts panel. There's often a Naruto panel.
And I'm surprised. I don't think there's a Homestuck panel here.
But I mean, there's panels for all kinds of different fandoms, so you can just go in and look at people in cosplay and discuss it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they usually have like mixed discussion. They would have Q&As, maybe some games. It's when we say mixed, they usually put a bit of a mix. It depends on who's running it and what the purpose they want for the panel. Any ones you think we missed?
I don't think so. I think you got all the basics down.
All the basics. All right.
I mean, I guess if we have extra time, we could pretty much describe some more experiences of what we had. Like,
Okay. We can do that after we finish all of it if you want,
Yeah.
because we still got 3 pages. We must go for the whole time. Actually, it's 4. It's 4 pages. How did I get 4 pages?
I don't know.
Overtime.
Overtime. Okay. How to get started? You make friends with staffers and events people, and even offer to lend a hand here and there, or even volunteer at a convention for a bit, it will help you develop like a good friend and new acquaintanceships. Be active with updates from a convention. Know how they run things, like what they typically want, like what they expect. Like you probably don't want to run a super cute panel at like a hardcore dark gaming convention.
As funny as that would be.
As funny as that would be.
Yeah.
So you just got to know what their purpose is. It's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be. It's that outlandish, but you know.
Just make sure you're doing it in the right setting.
Exactly. Get an idea for a panel, write it out 3 or 4 times, discuss it with like others, like with your friends. Hello, welcome to Hollow Runner panel.
Sorry, late.
That's all right. You're here. Cool. I love your guys' outfits.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Who's she talking to? I think she's talking to.
We just moved on to how to get started on running a panel. Like I said, write out your idea for a panel 4 or 5 times, 3 or 4 times, and discuss it with others, like with your friends, with other congoers. Like, hey, well, how would you feel about this? And ask them for their opinions. Like,
Also,
what
if
they
you're
would
doing the
decide.
panel with somebody else, make sure they know what you're doing.
Exactly. I email her constantly of like, hey, this is what we're doing. Because if you're co-hosting with somebody and they don't know what you're doing, that's kind of bad. So, and please try not to send it like a day before the con.
Really ahead of
Did I do that today? No, I haven't done that yet.
You did a week ahead.
I did a week ahead. Let's go. Good timing. And then of course talk it out with others. Even ask the staffers like for their opinions as well, especially because there might be some things that are allowed and some things that are allowed at the convention that you can have at the panel. Apply for panels early if they don't have like a sign-up sheet. I know San Japan had a sign-up sheet. I know a lot of convention sites don't have a sign-up sheet for panels.
What you can do is you can go to the website and you can email them and say,
Yes.
hey, I'd like to do a panel.
You would email the events head if you know who that. If they post up their email, the convention head. If they put up their email, most likely you would email the events head or the if they have the convention official email. And if they don't reply within some time, like a couple weeks later, you can try resending it again.
That's why it's way important to do it way
Yeah.
ahead of time. Because if
Exactly.
you do it like 3 days ahead of time, then everything's already been posted up and
Yeah, that's kind of like everything's already settled. And yeah, I already covered that. Don't forget to list off anything important you need for the panel and send that list to the convention as well, because if you need a projector, they need to know. Don't tell them like 2 days before, like, hey, I need a projector, and they're like, no, you're not gonna. You most likely will not get it.
most of the time, though, they're really, really busy. If you need something and you're, really upfront with them and you do it wanting to wait ahead of time, they will work with you on getting the things that you need.
Mhm.
So it really depends on, how willing you are to work with them and how much time you give them to work with you.
Yeah. If you receive confirmation of your panel and have been approved or not, you should receive confirmation. They usually should email you if it's approved or not. If they don't send you anything, then they're just being mean.
Most of the time, either they're really, really busy or they just, they forgot. Things happen.
Mhm.
If they don't send you an email, make sure you check back on the beta list they usually will put up almost every day, because they will list out the panels that are happening.
But they should notify you.
They should.
Yes. I know St. Japan's really heavy on notifying people, so. Time to get going. Advertise your panel on the convention website. The forms are good. There should usually always be an events form, and you post up your panel here, explain briefly what it's about, and if you have a speculation time, you can post up like the time early if the convention allows it. Always ask the convention first before posting up a form, because they get kind of iffy sometimes about that.
You can advertise on other sites as well.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter are really, really
Yes,
good.
exactly.
Because they're going to have a lot of people that are going to be able to access your site and going to be able to access your name and see what you're doing. You want to avoid events like 4chan.
Yeah, don't
because
advertise on
that's just
4chan.
Really, really bad.
Because then you'll have people telling you how to run your panel, and if this is your panel, and if the convention already approved of what you sent them, then there's really no need to no, this is my panel that's already been approved. So
Another really way to do it is to go to DeviantArt, because almost everybody who goes to a convention will have a DeviantArt of some kind or know somebody who has DeviantArt. So word of mouth spreads really, really fast.
Yeah, especially, yeah, there we go, word of mouth, is one of the best advertisements. Tell, like, if you know you're gonna run a panel at another convention, tell people at a convention or like a meetup somewhere, like there's some event going on at Animal Draft House, like you'd be like, hey, this is going on, and I'm gonna run this panel.
Another really good way to do it is, say if you're doing a fan panel for Kingdom Hearts, or if you're doing a fan panel for Steampunk or something like that, at the photo shoot, usually, you know, if there's a photo shoot before your panel of what you're doing, tell people about the photo shoot. Be like, hey, you know, we're doing this at this time, you should come see it.
Or
So-
even if you see like people like in cosplays or something, like steampunk attire, like you see other people in steampunk attire, be like, hey, are you gonna go to the steampunk panel later? Like, because it's gonna be in this room at this time. You can do that, and usually a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know, because there was actually because I did the Phoenix Wright panel, and there was quite a few people that I ran into that were just in like Trucy was one of them, and Emma Sky was one of them, and they didn't know there was a Ace Attorney panel. So I'm like, yeah, it's there's one going on.
Well,
So
we knew about it ahead of time because we actually read the
yes,
catalog.
you guys are good. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So yeah, that's really good. Word of mouth. Keeping up with it once you get started. Now that the hype of your panel is done, important. I'm not reading that part because I don't know what I typed. Remember the head events and staff and all the other event staff are your biggest friends. Please don't argue with them if this is not working. I know it seems like I argue with Jay, who's the head of events at this convention, but really I just tease him.
They
If-
really are going to be your biggest friends.
They're gonna be your biggest
at
friends.
this convention. They're going to help you do everything. They're going to help you set up before you get here. They're going to help you keep people in and out. They're going to help you to, you know, sometimes they'll even go out and recruit people, be like, hey, you should come in here.
Their purpose is their event staff. Their purpose is so your event can go successfully. So they're on your side. Please do not worry.
Just like Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side. Event staff is on your side. Okay.
We should make t-shirts.
Okay. Constantly edit your template and outline for a panel, which I have done various times. Because an idea you liked for your panel 2 weeks ago, you might not like it now. You can't. I wouldn't say completely change your whole entire topic.
But just
because-
edit it. Like, say, it was like,
So like
okay,
edit
this
it,
line's
like
stupid.
I'm not gonna say this, like, oh, they probably already know this, so I'm gonna edit this out. So yeah, that's one of the things you should do. Like always reread and also ask other people again about it. Like, hey, do you think this is gonna flow well? Especially if you're co-hosting with somebody, like, yeah, it seems good, or they can say like their opinion.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Another really big thing to do is to ask questions, not just from your co-host and not just from the event staff, but ask questions from the audience as well. If we are running a panel like this, one of the various things we can do to help you guys learn how to run a panel is to ask what you already know and to ask, what you've done and what you've seen.
That's why we were asking, like, what's your favorite panel? What's the most memorable panel to you? Which we haven't asked you guys. Yeah, have you guys ever run a panel before? No. No. Do you have like a really memorable panel?
The one I saw yesterday was.
Yeah, I don't usually go to a lot of panels, but like I sat in like the last 10 minutes of how to make a visual novel, and I learned like so much just sitting there.
For
So,
just 10 minutes?
yeah,
just, like-
10 minutes.
That's pretty good. What?
PowerPoints.
That's cool. PowerPoints are really good. I struggle with PowerPoints, but
Personally, I use Office Impress. It's basically a free version of PowerPoint.
I like that one too. What about you guys? Do you have any like memorable panels that you've attended?
I'm trying to think if any of them stand out. Yeah, the one in Tucson, that was because of where it
Oh, I
was.
wanted to go to that one.
Oh, it was just fantastic.
I love
Airship
Arizona.
Isabella did their panels out in North Chapel. And it was very memorable, but not, no, I got it. Yeah, it was Airship Isabella, Javert Marchand, and Amaranth LaRue did a tag team panel on weapons mods.
Weapons mods. Yep.
And they ran it as a team so well.
That's
I was
amazing.
incredibly impressed with the way they passed it back and forth and worked together.
Because they're like, it's separate groups, like of like cosplay groups basically. So it's like, that's kind of hard to pull off, but they pulled it off that well.
Oh,
What do you mean separate groups?
Like they're not, they're like,
No, they were in the same group. They were steampunk. It was just steampunk.
yeah, I know it's, I mean like they weren't like, they're not like crews, that's what I'm saying. Like,
People have groups, like, I've been part of, like,
Oh no, they're in the
four
same group.
different groups, but we all come together for one thing eventually.
In fact, I think they live under the same roof.
oh, they live under the same roof.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I thought, okay.
But even so, they did
They
a
did
superb
an
job
amazing job.
of delivery. And one of the things when I've been to some panels where there was like 4 or 5, and one person would either dominate or try to dominate it. And sometimes that works if they're really the right person to run it, but other times it's not so good.
I like to have somebody to play off of, so
Also for support.
yeah, for more support. You're here for more.
And to rest your voice.
Yes, because especially when I'm like losing track and I'm like trying to read my stuff, I'm like, what did I say? What did I type? And she'll just start talking.
That's what I'm here
That's
for.
what she's here for. Yay!
All right. Speaking of, we asked about the questions. Make a checklist of everything you're going to need. You're going to want to do this way ahead. Like she was talking about earlier, you want to make a list way ahead of time of things that you're going to need for your panel. If you're going to need a projection screen, if you're going to need microphones, if you're going to need tables, if you're going to need 100 bajillion chairs in a
If you're
circle.
going to need water, if you're going to be talking a lot that's what you be bought. If you're going to need like even the basic things, if you're going to have prizes, if you're going to have or if you have like you're going to need a demonstration like how to work with leather. You want to bring your leather tools, supplies, and give a little display about that. Make sure you have all the tools you need. I'll be warned, sometimes Hosni panel does take money out of your pocket. Usually the cons offer prizes if you need prizes to your panel. I know San Japan does. I usually sometimes like to buy my own though. Or you might have to buy a prop for a panel sometimes. Like if you need, because I have a dating game, and I was told I didn't have to bring a screen. They had a drop, but usually I would have a drop right here, and it'd be made out of PVC pipes, and it'd be made out of a curtain, so it could be like the Sunny's show where they can't see the contestant and stuff that kind of thing. So sometimes you might need a prop for your panel.
Just make sure you think about it ahead of time, because it's terrible if, like she said, if you need like a screen or something and all you can find is a curtain rod and some plastic bags. Doesn't work out very well.
If the con doesn't offer you prizes right off the bat, and you have a panel that requires you to give out prizes, ask the staff if like, hey, do you have any prizes you can lend to me that I can offer up? Because usually they don't tell you that they can do that, but if you ask, they usually say, yeah, you can do that. We can have stuff for you. Okay, plan out your con schedule around your panel, because I know sometimes panelists they like to go see other stuff too. Like I don't like to run panel. I like to run panels, but I like to see other stuff at a convention too. So you don't want to accidentally I'm gonna go see this and completely miss your panel, or you get lost at a convention because you don't know the floor. And
It's
you're
terrible to
late
miss
to
your own panel because you're lost.
It's horrible to be late to your own panel too.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Because I know both Colin Farrell and John St. John were late to their panels.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, know how much time it takes to get up and down the elevators, and know the con floor, and know what room you're in.
Basically know everything ahead of time.
That, and I actually had a conversation with Colin Farrell before while he was late for his panel, and it's like, I gotta keep moving, but sure, I'll talk to you.
Yep. You have to keep moving. You just gotta keep moving, right? And okay, you gotta walk with me now. I'll talk to you, and you gotta walk with me. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta rush. Okay, it's time. Now it's convention time and you're about to pull all your hard work into action. Okay, here's what you need to do.
We should make the second one first because that's probably one of the most important.
Yeah, make sure you have your con pass. It'd be terrible if you couldn't get to your panel because you didn't get your con pass. And especially if you pre-register or anything like that, you might want to go in registration line and get it early. And it'd be horrible if like you were caught in line the whole entire time and you missed your panel because you didn't get your con pass.
Which they will do. The event staff is your friend, but if you don't have a badge, they're not going to let you into your own panel no matter what you tell them.
Nope.
So make sure you have your badge.
When you arrive at the convention, double check to see if you brought everything you need. Bringing your own outline or template to the panel as well, it helps out too because I forget things and I need a sheet to remind me of what I'm talking about because I'll go off track. If there is a line at your panel, please count how many chairs you have in the room. Also, I believe these they say maximum occupancy on the walls, how many people are allowed in there. Especially if there's a long line. Count the people, count the chairs. You might have to cut off your line.
I think we're just about at the limit of this room right now.
Oh my god, it's like terribly brimming.
So, you know.
Why don't you leave?
Can't breathe.
It's so crowded. It's so crowded. Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
Look at all 3 of these chairs full.
Oh no! Oh, there goes the 4th one. Oh,
Yeah.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you know it's going to be a big panel or event and there's a long line, please tell the line, like, please stay in your seat, don't save seats. If you entered the room, please, when you exit, you have to get back in line.
For example, our dating game that we do
Last year.
When you do the dating game, there's always a line outside. If you leave, you don't get your seat back. So there's no sitting
not
seats. Everybody's got to
guaranteed.
move in.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to sit with somebody, you better be standing with that person in line because it can get really crowded really fast. The dating game always has seats that are, you know, full to capacity and then a line outside.
We were in here last year. We got moved to the social room because there was like about 50 people still waiting outside after, like, and they even still waited outside in case somebody left the room. So we were saying, if you, unless you, the only way I would see you can save a seat, usually if it's all ages panel, you would, if it's like a parent with a child, or like they left their child in here and then the parent had to go outside for a sec, then that's acceptable.
No, your boyfriend or girlfriend does not count as a child you left behind.
What about a man child?
Man child does not work. Or if it's a person with special needs, like if it's somebody in a wheelchair, then that's usually acceptable. They can come in and out. Okay, if you're going to be hosting in front of people, most likely they're all strangers to you. Audiences can be really small, from like about 10 people at a panel. Is there 10 people? Or it can go to over 200. Make sure your nerves don't get the best of you. Most likely, if you're going to be speaking a lot, please don't have stage fright. If you're not good at public speaking, I wouldn't really suggest running a panel unless you're doing like a viewing room and all you're doing is just playing videos, or you're setting up video games, then that would be acceptable.
If you're doing a talking panel and you talk quietly, that's fine. Make sure you have a microphone. They help you.
Because when you whisper, people can hear you in the microphone.
Just make sure that you don't breathe really heavy because mine's not on.
Because you're not special. Is mine on now? Yeah, it is. Yay. Make sure you know how to turn it on first of all. But if you breathe like you're panicked, they're going to hear that. Yes. Don't be panicked when you're on the microphone. It's bad.
We're just not talking in microphones right now because
there's so many people.
I know, we're scared. Okay, if the audience
just kind of fun.
if the audience seems bored, try moving on to a different topic. Not a different topic from what your thing is. Like, okay, they're getting bored of Kingdom Hearts. Let's talk about Naruto. No, that's not the point of the panel. Like if you're doing steampunk, like, oh, they're getting bored. Let's talk about Comic Lolita. Don't get completely off topic. Go to like a different thing. Like if you were talking about like how to make this, and people seem bored, you can move on to like a different thing. Like, okay, let's do like how to make this different thing instead.
You always want to make sure you have your audience's attention.
Yeah.
If you're losing your attention span in the audience, then, you know, I mean, if you really lose your attention span of the audience, then there's really no reason for you to run a panel. You know, if nobody's going to be paying attention, they're going to walk out, they're going to play on their phones.
I'm here for moral support.
I know you are. You know, I mean, it's best to keep your attention no matter what you have to do. You know, just don't do something drastic like stand and strip and run on the audience or something. That's no, you don't want to do do that. But you know,
Unless it's a
within
streaking
reason,
panel.
I don't think they'd allow that.
I think they would, maybe YowieCon, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, we can.
No comment on Yowie.
I am not going there, so.
Anyway, back to the.
Make sure you're keeping tabs on your time. It'd be terrible if like you only done like half the stuff you wanted to do at the panel and you're out of time. So you might want to you might have to like skip a couple of things, but if you want to get your point across, you'll have to cut down on some things maybe if the time is dragging. And time is really dragging. No, we have 30 minutes. We're good. Another thing is, please set aside all your dramas, issues, illness, if you can. If it's a serious illness, I wouldn't come to your panel to see if you can cancel.
For example, though, if I were to say I hate you, die,
That's drama right there.
that's drama.
Oh, why you hate me?
I just caused drama right now. But see, we're gonna grin and bear it anyway, and we're gonna host this panel
Yeah,
together. And we're going to
exactly.
smile, and later we're gonna get a cat fight outside.
Yeah.
That's after the panel, so that's fine.
Yes, because if you're in a bad mood, nobody's going to enjoy the panel, and all the audience is going to feel your energy, and yeah, that's really bad.
What if the purpose of your panel was drama?
Well, there are drama panels, but you want to be focusing the panel on getting rid of drama.
Yeah.
So if you're causing drama at a non-drama panel to get rid of drama,
On Sunday, we're doing a cosplay drama panel, and it's how to avoid drama, and we're doing peer mediation of solving some drama. So it's more about not causing drama.
and it's called a shameless plug right there. See? She just
Shameless
promoted
plug.
her. She
If you're
promoted
doing
her
more than one panels at conventions, you can do that.
What? That's lesson 1.
Lesson 1.
shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs.
Promote your own panels.
We talked about advertising, so. Keep a bottle of water with you, because if you lose your voice.
Trust me, it's really bad when you're doing a voice actor panel and you run out of voice. That's just like,
You
Yes,
have a
you can.
voice, and then it's just an actor's panel.
It's a mind.
Objection.
Mind panel.
yeah, unless you're doing Phoenix Wright, you hold up signs.
Oh, we also shout too.
And we have text boxes.
Exactly, text boxes.
That was last night.
For example, on that one, we did a Kingdom Hearts panel where in one of the games, all Roxas says is ... And so we had our Roxas and Shion hold up signs that said ... That was the only thing they said. The entire thing was just hold up that
One of his
sign.
most memorable lines.
Exactly.
Dot,
Isn't
dot,
that
dot.
more of Squall's line? Because I call him the king of ellipses.
He might be too if you're
Well,
doing a
it's
Final
the
Fantasy
Prince and
panel.
Princess of Ellipses.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing. Okay, please enjoy hosting your panel yourself. If you're not enjoying it, then you probably don't want to run it again next year or next time. Yes, I'm enjoying this very much. I like this. I like this kind of stuff. I like talking. I like people looking at me, being the center of
I like
attention.
hearing your own voice and people looking at me.
I like hearing the sound of my own voice. Anyways, the panel is over. Not this panel, I'm just saying. Moving on to next subject.
Oh, okay.
When your panel finishes, there's usually another one that always falls right after it. So please tell the audience to clean the room, especially at this con. They're really persnickety about that because there's usually people waiting outside line. It's kind of not fair that they've been waiting out there for like an hour or so, and you've just been sitting here the whole time. So if you want to stay in the next panel, please go into the line for the next panel. But when they clear out the room, please.
There's also no saving seats again. Same thing as before. You know, if
Yeah.
there's really a line outside, they're going to make you clear the entire room and go to the back of the line.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're in the panel before doesn't mean you can be in the panel behind.
Yeah.
College at Concord.
Also, please clean up and tidy up the panel room if you're a panelist, because I've done that a lot. I have done it before I run a panel because there has been trash, there has been food and other wonderful magical things left behind. I found before I ran a panel actually, I checked the seats and I found a really expensive camera equipment, like filming equipment, and I turned it into security. I'm like, yeah, that was found. So
People will leave things behind at panels, so especially, if you're running a panel, make sure before you leave and when you get there and after you leave, make sure that you search those chairs, search on tables, search all that kind of stuff. People leave badges, people leave camera equipment, people leave cameras, people leave children.
people leave trash.
Make sure you just make sure that you don't leave anything behind.
Except we'll leave that behind. Why not? I'm just, with drama outside the room, we'll keep the drama away from this panel. It's polite if you offer the next panel to help set up, because we're all panelists, we're all friends, we all need to work together.
Even if I hate that.
So where would you be without me? I'm just kidding.
Still sleeping.
That might be.
Yeah, anyways, panelists gotta look out for each other.
Yeah.
When you turn for the con, ask feedback from, you can even ask feedback at the con after your panel ends, like, how did you like my panel, basically. And you can also ask feedback online, like on the forums, like, can you give me some feedback, what would you like to see? Is there something you like to see different? What did you like there? Basically all that stuff, what you didn't like, blah, blah, blah. And it can help you if you want to run the panel again, or help you decide if you want to run the panel again or not.
Like we talked about before, the base thing, like the most important thing of running a panel is your audience. You want their feedback, you want their questions, you want them to be involved. So getting their feedback is a way of getting them more involved. That will definitely pull them into it and make them want to come back.
Okay. Now we're doing a pop quiz. We have prizes.
Yes.
We're going to do a review. Okay. Name at least 4 different types of panels.
There's voice actor, there's fan panels, there might be an occasional special one, like, I don't know, like a dating panel.
Can you be more like the generalization?
Oh, generalization, okay. I did say voice acting and fan, right?
Yes.
Q&A.
Q&A is another one.
What's another one?
You had just one more.
It's a tutorials?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can accept that. That's an interactive and discussion. So come here. Come here. You get Magic Girl Aquarium. Those are cool. I don't care what anybody says. You can have toys at any age. Okay.
So we come here.
Let's see, it's another one.
Who's going to be your best friend when you're running a panel?
Your best friend?
No.
Your co-panelist?
Event staff.
Event
Since
staff.
that, come on up.
Unacceptable.
Would you like glow stick, hippie duck?
Oh, he wants that one.
Glow stick.
Hippie duck, glow stick?
Glow stick.
Glow sticks.
Here you go.
Thank you. I accept this on behalf.
Okay, you
I'm a
go.
lazy
You got
guy.
one more
Sure.
prizes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
There's no problem.
That's not in the race.
Let me see what else I can get.
Who can name the average range of an audience between what number and what number?
Between 10 and a lot more than 10.
You got
It can go up to 1,000 sometimes though. I just said 1,000.
No, it is. It's up to 1,000 because that's how much we're in school.
Just throw it at her.
Hippie duck. Holy crap. Like one hand.
I want a sunglasses too.
Epic with the duck. Okay. Another question. Okay, I gotta think. We're just looking for this to see what questions we come up with.
What's the most important thing to make sure you have when you're running a panel?
Schedule.
No.
No, the other important.
Yes.
Your badge?
Yes.
Do you want a hippie duck?
I love a hippie duck.
Hippie duck?
Awesome. Yeah.
Everybody's good at really catching stuff today. I'm impressed.
We got 2 more items.
Catchers of
You're so,
the
oh,
girl.
no,
All right.
no, it's not. Take it out of the wrapper if I hold on a little bit better.
If there's a long line, what should you do? Someone who hasn't won a prize.
Her hand went up first.
Good.
Count how many people are in the line to make sure you have no seats.
Yes. Would you like
Fish?
The fish.
magical?
I don't want fish.
All right, we got one more.
I heard like
We got
magical
one
girls,
more
like, you
prize
grow them?
to the glow stickies. What should you check in your panel room before and after?
For items left before
Yes,
and
yes,
items
yes.
left after. Yes.
More glow sticks. You want me to throw it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
pass the baton.
Catch it. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sorry about that. That was
everywhere.
Now they're all
Anyways.
glowing.
If anyone has any questions or stories or any panels that they like, yes, you.
Well, I just have a comment question.
Yes, go ahead.
I've noticed that I've never been in a panel where anybody handed anything out.
You never have?
Like information.
Like information about what they're talking about.
Yeah, like, and oh, by the way, here is a list of websites that you can go to get more information.
That's a really good idea.
Or, you know, and here's my contact information to give me feedback, and, you know, I've never seen that, and I think it'd be a great, well, if I were running a panel, I'd do
That
it.
would be
That's
a good
actually a really
idea.
good idea.
It's-
You're right. I've rarely seen things like that.
Yeah.
They hand them out in the hallways and stuff. I have never really just seen it at a panel. That's a very, very good idea. When doing something like that, if you want to do something like that, the best place to go would be like a Kinko's or an Office Depot, something like that. They can, if you write it out for them, you can, they can print it out for you. They can cut it for you. They can put it on colored paper. You know, something eye-catching, whatever you want to do. That's a shameless plug for me. I worked at Office Depot. So anyway.
Especially if you do something like that for like, if your panels relate to what you do for a living, then that'd be good to advertise that.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Especially if you do cosplay stuff and that's what you do for a living too, so.
What if no one comes to your panel?
Well, obviously,
You need advertising.
Okay, my walking, strutting, runway panel, which is how to do a walk-on / runway modeling, only 3 people showed up. And what we did was I just basically went over my list real quick because there's only 3 people, and we just had a little talk about it and what they can do to flaunt their clothes and stuff in the proper way. And yeah, we just had a discussion. We just had a little walk-on practice. So you can work with little.
Small panels are not bad.
I have had a panel where nobody has shown up at all, and at that point you can just sit back and relax, I guess. So because I had to stay the whole time to make sure nobody answered. So you do have to stay the whole time even though nobody's there. You can end it early if you want, but
The doors will close, and you know, people, if they come, if they do come for the panel, they'll be told, hey, the panel was canceled because nobody showed up.
yeah, exactly.
So-
Like if it's like yes.
Oh.
You were raising your hand?
I'm sorry. Can you-
I thought you were raising your hand.
Yeah, time slots.
Time
Does the
slots.
con
The con
assign
determines
the time
that.
slot?
The con determines time slots. What you do is you tell them when you fill out the little form or the email, they will tell them, you know, what kind of panel you're doing. You tell them
When you are available.
when you're available, and they'll stick you in one of the available time slots as best as possible.
Okay, so there is the clue is when you're available. So
It's
can narrow
you
it
give them
down.
times that you want the panel to be, and the other key is how long you want the panel to be. So if you want like a 30-minute panel, or if you want like an hour panel, if you want like an hour and a half panel,
Right.
you know, you tell them how long you need the panel to be, and they'll stick you in a slot that accumulates as best as possible with what you're doing and when you're available.
And also tell them what other panels you'll be in. So
Yeah, so they don't schedule for 2 at once.
Right, right.
That happens a lot during my scheduling because I'm running like 11 panels this convention, and I kept going to head events. I'm like, Jay, what, you scheduled it again? I'm like, the same, like I can't be in 2 places at once. It's like, oh damn. I'm like, and so he had to redo.
That's
it
why it's
again.
always best to start out, if you're doing a lot of panels like Dias, the best way to do it is start with just one. You know, you don't want to start out immediately from going from, you know, doing 1 panel to doing 12 panels, because you're going to get way in over your head. So the best thing to do is do
I
one.
slowly built up. I started out with like 3, and I built up from 2.5, like into 6, and now I'm doing like it's like 11 to 15. I don't remember how
Yeah, see,
many.
that's what it does to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start forgetting.
I start forgetting how many panels. It doesn't matter. I just go there, do it, and it's over. There you go.
It's really funny though, because we'll start talking about other things and it'll like switch from one panel to another. Sometimes we have to get back on track.
Like, get back on track. This is not the right
Italian
panel. This is not an Italian panel.
Yes.
Something else is, I didn't hear if you mentioned about, but don't get upset if people get up and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not always because you're boring. You know, people get up and leave because they have to go eat, or they have to go help
Or
somebody,
they
or
were
they
just
have to go.
they just wanted
you know.
to check it out for a bit, and they just like, oh, they got to be somewhere else anyways.
You've done it too. Don't get upset that someone else is doing it to you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's done it once in a while, you know.
And there's
best
all
thing
kinds
to
of
do is-
reasons. I mean, they may have to go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Okay, and the best thing is just basically ignore it and
Yeah.
keep going.
Sometimes it does make you pause. You get a little distracted because people are moving, especially since it's a small audience. When you do pause for a second, just say thank you for coming and like have a good day or like bye, like real quick, and you get back to your panel. Which is what she was doing a lot yesterday. She was like, "Oh, thank you for coming." I'm like, and I say thank you. Redactor. I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Okay. I worked at a convenience store, so I did.
You have the
that.
greetings down pat.
Like nobody would buy anything, but you still have to say thank you for coming.
I mean, I like doing that.
Yeah, you like.
It makes you look polite. It makes people want to come back.
It also makes you look like a smartass when it deals with gotcha customers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like, okay, say if, you know, somebody gets up, now you will, if you're running a panel, you will have grumpy people in your panel, you will have hyperactive people in your panel.
And you might have people that'll spam Soulja music.
Yeah, you know, you'll have all kinds of people come in your panels. Sometimes
You may not have to lay down ground
you might have to
rules.
lay down ground rules. Like, for example, she was talking about the Italia panel earlier. She has to do the event head of staff and the event head of safety are both going to come into her panel ahead of time and lay out ground rules from people. And it's not just from her, it's from them, because there are so many people coming. And it's just the way it has to be sometimes. You know, don't be afraid to be like, you need to leave. If somebody's causing trouble in your panel, you do not have to put up with that.
And be like, you need to leave right now, especially if you're doing like a late night panel and you have some drunk people being a little bit too rowdy in the panel.
Isn't that like not?
It's not acceptable. It's not.
It's not
So
acceptable.
if you tell them to leave and they don't leave, you can go get. There's event staff always outside of your door.
And they'll get security, and if we need more than just security, there are always police officers nearby at this convention.
Between Di and I, we have had people escorted out before. We have had people walked out before. We have asked people to leave before. It's not, you know, it doesn't make you a mean person if somebody's interrupting your panel and you ask them to leave.
Think
It
of
makes
it.
them, yeah.
Think of it this way: it's your forum, not theirs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the whole being escorted thing was part of a joke because a friend of mine who does Mega Man Bridge series actually held a panel where he had someone come in and being rowdy, but it turns out that only he's the one that arranged him to do that.
And that's different.
And
you know?
everyone knows.
if it's for like the panel, then that's different.
Yeah.
But we've had, like, for example, a couple of years ago, Di and I were running a panel, and we had a guy sitting up front who had been drinking, and he started calling out, and it was an all-age panel. He started calling all these lewd things whenever we would talk, you know, making sexual innuendos, all these terrible, terrible things, and we asked him to leave, and he wouldn't leave until we had him walked out, because that's unacceptable.
Yeah, unacceptable.
You know, that's
I
just,
have also, if you talk down about a con that I'm working at, I will try to throw you off because I was mentioning a couple years ago when I was running the dating game, there was a little bit tipsy people, and I said talking about San Japan, and someone said bullshit, San Japan's crap. I'm like, why are you here? And then I'm like, don't say that. If you say anything like that, I'm having you thrown out because especially if you're working at a convention, you got to respect the con.
the other thing to do, like, if you're running a con on that same level on the other side of it, you have to have a lot of patience when you're running a con. If somebody says one thing, you can't immediately have them thrown out. You know, you have to have their levels, their warning. It's like basically being a parent type of thing. There are a whole bunch of people here. There are different levels. Yeah, there are different levels of age, different levels of, you know, tipsiness, occasionally depending on how late it is. You have to be really, really patient with people because, for example, the dating game again, there are lots and lots of people. There are lots and lots. You know, it's an 18 and up panel, so it's a bit more risque. But people are going to be hollering out things. You know, people are going to be yelling out, you know, silent clues, stuff like that. So you're going to have to work with people, you know, being loud, being rambunctious, and that happens on a lot of panels. People get excited, which you want them to be. Then you're going to have to deal with that excitedness.
Yes.
It's only when their excitement starts to like impede the progress. Or,
Then
like,
you can ask them
get
to.
in the way.
Yes, chill.
It's another thing, and we were looking at our notes here, but especially in steampunk, I've noticed a real absence of talking about safety because we do a lot of building.
Yeah.
Right? And I've actually complained to some of the panel givers. So as people who are training people who give panels, I encourage you guys to teach people, hey, just go right up front in the panel, go over, we're going to be doing this and that and the other thing, we're talking about that. Here's how to stay safe when you do that.
That's a good idea too.
Okay, so please, if you would, pass that along the next time you add that to your list of things.
We will. Next time we have to run
Please.
this panel again. Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you,
Hold on. We'll right here, and then we'll go to you. Okay.
In terms of running the panel, you mentioned about all these hardships. So what about bless you. What about all these costs that might go into it, like monetary costs?
It really depends on what you need.
Yeah, like if you need like for me, I need like a wall so I can block like contestants from seeing each other for like a dating game. If it's a fan panel and you want to dress up as a certain character, you may have to make the cosplay cost. It depends. Most of the time, if you're like running a gaming panel or just a discussion panel, con will supply prizes for you, and it can be as less as to free to other amounts. It depends on what you're doing, but it's not that much. It will not hurt you that much.
So say if I just want a soundboard for both microphone and for sound effects.
That will not cost you anything.
That shouldn't cost you anything depending on the con if you ask ahead.
Yeah, as well as a projector and a screen go.
Yeah, if you ask ahead of time and they have everything, it should not be a problem. Now, for example, we're doing a Kamen Rider fan panel later today, and in that we talked to the staff ahead of time. They do not have a Mac to PC adapter, and their thing only works on PC. We only had a Mac for it, and so one of our friends we asked had the adapter, and so he just let us borrow it, so it didn't cost us anything again.
Yeah, just asking for stuff.
Yeah, I mentioned this because because my idea for running the panel would involve. I was thinking of doing something like an all ages kind of thing, but at the same time there would be some lewd comments, but bleeped out. So I'm thinking about having that sound effect. It's kind of humorous within my group.
Yeah.
You have to talk to the event staff about that because they can be really, really rough on, not really rough, but they can be really, really particular on, age assignments. So I would ask them about it before you actually did it.
Okay.
Yes. You had one.
Yes.
How many cons have you seen have done like a tutorial for this on their websites, like either a short video or a checklist on the forum or something?
It depends on, sometimes they do it separate from their panel, like it's like they put tutorials of their own stuff, like especially like cosplayers, like professional cosplayers at conventions, they sometimes put tutorials up on like YouTube or DeviantArt.
Well, just kind of a how to do a panel type of thing.
Oh, I haven't seen any one of these yet.
No, this is like, this is why I wanted to run this, because I'm like, I want other people to know how to run a panel. Like it's not just for one person. So what's being filmed right now will be, there you go, that's the tutorial on YouTube.
I saw your hand raised over here, yes ma'am.
You said you wanted to run a fan panel. Like, the fan panels that I've been to are kind of boring. Like, what would you suggest to spice those up? Like, games or what?
Well,
this?
well, I mean, when it comes to fan panels, it depends on what you're going to do. If you're going to do a fan panel on something like older school, say like something that was based on a manga or something like that, then first of all, you want to make sure there's enough of a fan base out there that's going to come to your panel. So you really, really way ahead of time going to want to, shamelessly go, hey, I'm doing this type of panel, I'm doing this type of panel. Is anybody interested in me doing this type of panel? Stuff like that, because you really, really want people to show up, especially for a smaller fan base. If it's a bigger fan base, say Kingdom Hearts, or Naruto, or something like that, that's going to be really, really big, then you're definitely going to want to just keep their attention, because there are going to be a lot of people. It's hard to keep the attentions of a lot of people. So you're going to want to make sure that you have plenty of ways to keep people's attention. I think I've said that 3 times now, but you guys know what I mean. It's very important. Say, because if you have a room that's twice as big as this and every single seat's filled, people in the back are going to start getting a little bit rambunctious. So you're going to want to do maybe like a Q&A or something that's going to want to make them, want to focus their attention back up here. If you want to do, like, say everybody's in cosplay for the thing, like we've done Kingdom Hearts panels like that, and she's been on them too, where everybody's going to be in cosplay in the front. And I know we've done ones before where
we just act in character.
Yeah, the character interaction will keep people's attention by a long shot. And it's funny, it makes people laugh, and you want people to laugh at your panel.
Yeah, another thing for fan panels, because I'm running the Hentai fan panel later, what I'm doing this year, because a lot of people thought it was kind of boring with just a Q&A, what we're doing is we're just going to do like 3-minute brief what Hitalia is, and then we're doing like a lot of quizzes, which is many people can, like 4 or 5 people like per round, and they can have like a chance, so it feels like a lot of people are interacting. And you just, like, quizzes will help you because people like getting free stuff. So, and you have nice stuff to give away. You usually can get attention really good. And then what I was going to do is it's gonna be more open discussion where people have to turn up the mic and they can talk about like something they like from it, ask for other audience members' opinions about like a certain part of the show or something, or they can ask a question to even the panelists if they want, or to the audience if they want.
Also with fan panels, like, you probably want to like decide if you want it to be geared more towards like people who are already fans and like discussing the intricacies, or if it's going to be geared to more like what is this, than like showing people like the basics of it.
That's actually a wonderful, wonderful thing to bring up, because I know we've had issues before where, again, for like our Kingdom Hearts panel, we had people that had never seen the game, and we had people that had played it forever and ever and ever, and you really have to be able to mediate, to both audiences. You have to be able to kind of explain it, but explain it in a way for the newcomers that they'll understand it without, making the people who have played it 100 bajillion times go, I'm bored. So you kind of have to keep it in between.
Or you may even want to start out by just going, who's never heard of this?
Exactly, and we do that a lot. Well, we'll ask,
right
who's never done this or who's never seen this, and that usually will give us a good example of how we want to do things.
Which is what I did last night. I did the Ace Attorney panel. I was going to give like a brief discussion. Nobody knew about it. I asked, okay, who has not heard of this? And nobody raised their hand. One person raised their hand, but the thing is, he was cosplaying from that series, so I'm pretty sure he was lying. So I'm like, if you don't know what it is, it's a lawyer.
I found this costume, I put it on.
I've actually done that. Not really found it.
So you can automatically omit that part of your panel, so it doesn't bore people. You can say like, well, just to recap, it's this, like just give 1 or 2 lines of what it is, and that's it, and move on.
But if like everyone knows it for your recap, then you can just say something funny.
Just do it. Yeah, you can make
they're
it quick.
just like, it's a thing about a thing, and they're like, yeah, okay.
It's a lawyer game, or it's personified nations, or
On that same line too, if what you're doing about the fan panel is both a game and an anime, or a manga and an anime or something like that, you're going to have people that are specifically both. There's like only people read the manga, or only people watch the anime, or only people read the game, or play the game. You can't really read a game.
And that's actually good if it's for open discussion, because then you can get like not really like a serious debate, but like a little like people's opinions on why they only like are dedicated to this, or why they only dedicated to that, or why they like both. Okay. All right, we gotta get going.
That's about it, you guys. Thank you all so much for coming. If you have any questions, we'll be walking around the con. So we hope to see you guys around here. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
That would be